Welcome to Women's Sports Weekly, where women's sports happen every day, but we talk about it once a week. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Carolyn. Women's Sports Weekly is a podcast where we discuss the latest news, explore interesting stories, and share our love for women's sports. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Women's Sports Weekly Pod. Follow us and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Send us an email at womensportsweeklypod@gmail.com, and we may feature your email on our Listener Experience Zone, aka the Les.
You have your new shirt on today.
I do. You got to go over to YouTube or the Spotify, but I have my Heated Rivalry t-shirt on.
It's very cute.
I don't think I'm ever taking it off.
Yeah, you probably won't.
And it's cropped, and we love it, and it's awesome.
It is. I love it. It's a cute picture.
We're on our third rewatch, and we've successfully gotten a lot of straight people to watch Heated Rivalry, and if that's not achieving the gay agenda, I don't know what is.
Excited that our loved ones are enjoying watching it.
It has been interesting to see so many people love it, and I know why, but now I'm reading the books. You can't stop me. I'm fully obsessed, and I don't ever want to leave. I'm never leaving the cottage.
I have about 100 pages left in the current book I'm reading, and then I'm picking up that series and cannot wait to read them.
I try not to make it my whole personality. Before our third rewatch, I think I waited a full week, and then I slowly started to be like, should we do it again? And you were like, yes. And I was like, oh, good. I've been waiting so long to ask you.
So long. You also were on a Reddit rabbit hole, making sure you're not the only one rewatching it several times.
Well, because it does make me feel a little bit crazy. So there are other people on Reddit who are like, why do I keep hitting replay on this? And why is it the only thing in my brain? But I don't know. It reminds me a lot of how I used to feel about One Tree Hill. It just is making me feel like a little kid again when I just used to be so obsessed with a TV show or people. I love to follow them on social media and see what they're up to. I don't know. It's just been fun to be a fan.
It's great.
How are you doing?
Good. Just happy all the paint is off of me.
We need to give everyone an update because I feel like we have some new listeners too. So Danielle and I are married. We need to make that clear because people on the internet think that we're sisters. We are not. We are married. And we bought a house a few years ago here in Denver. And it's a very old house. It was built in 1900. And we are finishing our unfinished basement by ourselves.
Well, not completely by ourselves. We've had an electrician come in. We've had a plumber come in.
Correct.
There's certain things we know our limits. And I finally caved, and we are having someone else do the drywall because, yes. And I'm very okay with that because I think it would be way too big of a task for us. And that might be our breaking point if we tried to do drywall together. So yes. You know what? We're going to let someone else run with that. But we framed the whole thing ourselves.
Did a lot of demo. Took down the entire ceiling. That was disgusting.
Some self-leveling concrete, which, not the best, but we did it.
And then this past weekend,
I painted the ceiling. So we're leaving our ceiling exposed. A lot of times if you leave a exposed ceiling, you want to paint it all the same color. We have a lot of pipes down there. And we didn't want to go with white because we don't want to see all the imperfections. And black does a really good job of hiding all the imperfections. So I used this airless paint machine, which, like all things, there's a learning curve. And I was trying to get this done in 4 hours because we had a limit on using the rental machine, whether we were going to get charged a full day or the 4 hours. And I try to save money where I can.
We are cheap.
But I ran out of paint anyways. So Is it perfect down there? No. Was I about to buy another 5 gallons of paint?
Of black paint?
Also no.
Were you covered head to toe in paint even though you had a full suit on? Yes.
I had a full suit, a respirator, goggles. When I went upstairs and looked in the mirror, I was like, oh my God, I had paint all over my face. The house smelled awful.
Our house still smells.
Yeah.
But it is worth it.
It is. It looks so much better. Our pipes were painted yellow and blue and white. And then the ceiling was, oh man. It's been quite the journey.
And so we're chugging along and we're going to pay someone to do drywall. Thank you so much. This is called compromise in a relationship. And I so appreciate it because I would have lost my mind if I had to do drywall.
It would have taken us way too long too. I'm ready to get this thing done with.
Yes. And then after drywall, we're going to do the floors and then we're ready to start.
Well, we have to paint the drywall.
I know,
then we
but
do the
paint.
floors.
Okay, but compared to everything else we did, paint is going to be a breeze.
We know we could do paint. We've painted every room in this house.
We're going to do that. We're going to get floors in, and our house is such a mess right now because everything in the basement is just everywhere. Like off camera right now, it's just filled. And it drives me crazy because
I work in here during the week. It drives me absolutely bonkers.
So you are a clean gal. You like things clean.
And tidy.
I'm an organized gal. I want every mouse in its house at all times. And it's been driving me a little loco.
I mean, same.
That there's just stuff everywhere in our house.
Yep. So it's been months.
And that's fine because it's going to be great. But I'm so looking forward to when we can actually move stuff back into the basement and start making it look nice. Oh, yes. It'll be so, so nice. We're getting there. And you're doing a great job. You did a great job painting.
I mean, we both are.
I didn't do much painting. I just was.
You didn't do the painting, but we both framed the entire thing. We both did the insulation. We both did everything else. So.
And I prepped for the painting.
Yes, we did a lot of prep this past week. Everything just takes so much time. So it's just one of those things.
But we are chugging along. So that's our basement update. If you listen in, eventually we will be recording down there. So you'll know when we're done once we're recording down there.
Yes. My other pursuit of cooking more this year. I made my own pizza dough over the weekend.
Oh, yes.
I did not have the proper ingredients, but I was just like, whatever, I have all-purpose flour. It's not the flour I was going for because there's certain flour you should be using with pizza. It's called 00. I'm learning.
Oh my gosh.
But it didn't come out half too bad. For the ingredients I had, I was like, okay, this isn't terrible. So made our own pizza.
And it was good.
Yeah, it could be better.
It could be better, but this is where I struggle with pizza because I only like a very specific kind of pizza and it's located on the East Coast.
But I wasn't making New York pizza style.
Yeah.
I was making the, how do you say it? Napolitan?
The
Napolitan style. But it wasn't that because we don't have a pizza oven.
Yeah.
I'm already looking at unis on the web. They're more expensive than I can pay right now, considering all the money we're dumping into our basement. But by this summer, I will have one.
Oh, okay. Noted. The ingredients are good, right? It's flour, cheese. What else is in it?
And pepperoni.
Sauce, pepperoni, all those things I like. So no matter what, I'm going to like it. But when you ask for my feedback, I'm like, well, I don't know. It's not New Jersey, New York pizza. So
it was just okay. I gave my own feedback. It was okay. This week, I don't think I told you yet, but I'm going to have to keep something alive.
Alive?
Going to make my own self-starter sourdough. What's it called?
Yeast? Starter?
Sourdough starter. I was looking up how to make my own, so I got some things to do that.
I thought you had to get that off someone who already had one going.
That's the easier way to do it, but I don't know who has it.
We live in Denver. Somebody has it.
Someone does.
I could definitely put a little thing in my Slack channel for yoga, and I'm sure we would get some sourdough starter.
But I can also do it, so I'm going to try. I'll give an update next week. You have to feed it every day. It's so interesting.
Does it have a mouth?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I've also been working on my big booty goals, so I've just been trying to add a little bit multiple times a week. So we do leg days, and I've actually been feeling so much better about my workouts in general. I know that I've been on this podcast before and been really struggling with what do my workouts look like and how am I taking care of myself, and I can't do CrossFit anymore because it's just like too much on my nervous system. We started going to this gym that was very strength focused, and that also offered really early classes, which is what I need because my job, period. I'm not going to say anything more about that. Things have just been going better and I've been feeling better. And also, I'm going to plug this right now, and I know it sounds crazy, but ever since I started taking creatine, I feel so much better in my body. Creatine, when I was younger, was sold as something that dudes did to bulk up and was just sold this false idea of what creatine actually does.
Yep. As most things are when we're talking about women in athletics, because there's no studies. They just tell us these false things.
It's just so frustrating, and I've been taking it and I just feel a difference. I feel a difference in my workouts. I feel a difference in how I perceive my body to look. I feel a difference in how sharp I feel. And so anyway, if you're curious about taking creatine, I would recommend it. And that is not from a doctor, and that is only my personal experience, but I really have enjoyed it. All that to say, we've been working out legs multiple times a week. And then on top of that, today I rode the bike, and then I added on a 15-minute glute exercise at the end. So
Nice.
I'm trying. And also the support for my big booty goals from everyone who listens, and also all my friends and family who like reached out to me personally, has been so nice.
Yeah, you better do these exercises. My sister Carly gave you exercises.
I know. And it's also, I think sometimes, and this is so elementary, right? I'm talking about getting a big butt, but I think sometimes I have a fear of saying what I want in life because I don't want to jinx myself, or I don't know, I don't want to share it with others just in case I don't follow through or don't make it happen. Somehow if I fail, then it would be even worse if people knew that I fail. And saying it out loud, I was like, no, people are just supportive.
Yeah.
And that's such a small thing and it doesn't really matter. And I was like, I need to do this more. Tell people what my goals are and what I'm interested in because the support has been really nice.
Such a good point.
Okay, let's get into sports.
Let's do it. Our first highlight, I was just very excited about this. As we've talked about before, Denver is getting a women's soccer team.
The Denver Summit.
Hallelujah. This spring, they will kick off. And little by little, we've been hearing about different players who get signed. And I would say this is the biggest player who's been signed to date. But this past week, we found out U.S. women's national team midfielder and former captain. Has she been wearing the captain
She's
lately?
captain.
Okay. Midfielder and captain Lindsey, maiden name Haran, now Heaps, and she's coming to the Denver Summit. She grew up in Colorado.
Yes.
She's been playing in France the past couple of years, and she's coming home. There's been things on the internet of her definitely having mixed emotions, which I can imagine. And then there was a video with her and her parents and surprising her parents. So I just think it's so fun. And I personally am very excited to have her on the summit.
It's such a great ad, and I think it's great for her that she has the opportunity to come home. She's been playing in France since 2022, and her season with them actually doesn't finish up until June. So she's going to come in late into
That stinks.
Yeah, into the Denver Summit season, which starts in March. But the NWSL is right around the corner, and the NWSL announced the schedules for all the teams. The home opener for the Denver Summit will be against the Washington Spirit at Empower Field on March 28th. Denver is buzzing over this news.
Oh, especially our run club. So we have several friends who used to live in Washington, D.C., and then they moved out here within the probably year. When they found out about this game, our friend Emma was like, this is my Super Bowl. So excited. We also like the Spirit, like Trinity Rodman's on the Spirit. So
Bethune, Hal Hirschfeld.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that game at Empower Field. Mile High Stadium.
It's going to be awesome. And I just love the amount of support that this Denver Summit team is getting. You can feel it in the air. When we do go to Run Club, when we do go to the 99ers, everyone talks about their season tickets to the Summit. And it's just really, really cool to see.
I am pumped.
So it's nice to have a team in your city, and that brings us right into Athletes Unlimited Softball League that just announced its 6 host cities for the 2026 season. So as a reminder, they had 6 teams last year, but they weren't location-based, and now they are tying them to locations. So the teams will be the Chicago Bandits, the Carolina Blaze, their home field will be in Durham, the Oklahoma City Spark, the Portland Cascade, the Texas Volts, and the Utah Talons. We might have to try to get out to a Utah Talons game.
That could be fun.
Yeah,
we are
Salt
going
Lake.
to Salt Lake. I wonder if they play when we're there.
I don't think so.
Okay. Too early in the
I think it might be too early, but we're looking at you, Utah Talons.
I might want to go to Portland. I've never been there. And we've been to Salt Lake City quite a few times now, and we're already going. Maybe we could hike up to Oregon.
Okay, I like it. Where are we already going?
Salt Lake City.
Oh, we're already going to Salt Lake
And we've
City.
already been quite a few times. So I don't know if I want to put another... Don't get me wrong. Utah's great, but let's go to Portland.
I thought you said we were already going to Portland. I was like,
No.
we are?
Surprise.
Would love that. All right, let's get into our next highlight, which is NCAA women's basketball, the Iowa State versus CU Boulder game, which we went to this past week.
Yes. While this was a week ago, we still want to talk about it because every year we try to go to a few CU Boulder women's basketball games, and this was our first one of the season. And we were obviously super pumped to see Audie Crooks and Iowa State play. And CU Boulder, man, they really pulled this one out. Iowa State's been on a bit of a losing streak, which which stinks for them, but I was very happy to see CU Boulder win this game.
They won 68-62. This was the fourth loss in a row for Iowa State. And then they ended up losing again this past Sunday to Oklahoma State to extend their losing streak to 5.
It's rough. We went with our friends Lex and Sarah, and we were talking about, like, why is this happening? One, Addie Brown, who is a huge contributor to Iowa State, one of their best players, has been out, so that's a tough one.
Last year, her sophomore season, she was averaging 15.2 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, and 5.4 assists. So that's a big loss for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It sucks seeing any player on the bench due to injury, especially top players. So that's one reason. And then our friends Lex and Sarah wrote, like, you know, some teams start their season with not great teams and they're playing all these games and just winning. So then I was listening to Sue and Megan's A Touch More podcast and Rebecca Lobo was on, and Rebecca Lobo was saying the same thing. She was like, a lot of teams cushion the front end of their season with not so great teams. They go on all these wins, but then they end up losing when the talent gets better. And she was saying for some teams it works to get your team confidence built up and things like that, but sometimes that's not always the good way to go. So I just thought that was interesting.
What would your tactic be as a coach? Because I understand it, right? You want them to be confident. You don't want them going into like these crazy games right from the jump. And also, I think if you win those crazy hard games right from the jump, that's a confidence boost.
Yeah. For me personally, I think maybe the first 2 games, it's like, okay, let's get some easy ones in just to see what we're working with, work on our offense, work on different defensive looks. But then by game 3 or 4, I'm like, you need to get some good games on the calendar, because when conference play comes, you don't want to just be like, these are your first hard games and you're just shocked by the talent. And if you want to make a run in the NCAA tournament, strength of schedule is huge. So
that's a great point.
I guess these coaches look at it both ways. Great, strength of schedule is big, but if we're losing, that's not good. But at the same time, if you're losing in conference, that's not good either. So that would be my take.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
But hey, I'm not a coach for a reason, so we're just here talking about it.
You were a coach. So let's get into this game a little bit more. CU headed into the half down by 4, but came back in the third quarter and tied it up 42-42. In the fourth quarter, Colorado went off with 26 points. This was Colorado's first win over a ranked opponent since last season, when they beat, at the time, number 10 Kansas State. In this game, CU had more rebounds, more bench points, more points off turnovers, and more points in the paint than the Cyclones. And this game was back and forth, but CU is just a fun, spunky team to watch. They're like streaky, but in a cool way. It just reminded me how nice it is to have a home team to go and root for, even if they're not a top 25 team, because they can beat top 25 teams.
Yeah, it's so true. And in years past, they were top 25 teams. They've lost a lot of people in the past couple of years, but they have a good coach. I think J.R. Payne does a great job with them. They're scrappy, like you mentioned, and they're not that big, which is even more impressive, because when you're looking at these players up against Audie Crooks, you're like, no one's really big enough to guard her. Like, they don't have any big down low players, but they made it work. And they were hitting threes, and I really like the way they played.
For sure. Junior guard Desiree Wooten led the game with a season-high 24 points. This was her 12th game with double-digit points. And then Colorado held Iowa State to its fewest points scored in a game this season at 62, and held Audie Crooks to a season low of 17 points.
And she scored a lot of her points at the very end, like at the garbage points. I was like, yikes.
Jada Williams for Iowa State had 9 points and 5 assists. And this brings me to my question. I don't think Iowa State will be ranked this week. You all know this already because it's Wednesday. We don't know it yet. But are they okay?
I mean, I'd be distraught if I was either a coach or player on that team right now.
They lost 5 games in a row now. They play Cincinnati tonight on Wednesday, and they've already lost to Cincinnati as part of their losing streak. As you mentioned, they don't have Addie Brown, and people aren't going to like this, but when I saw Audie Crooks play, she did not look good against Colorado. I don't know if it was a bad game. I don't know if it was altitude. It did not look good.
Yeah, she had a rough game that night.
The team, Iowa State, made 11 threes. So, like, the other part of the team was trying to do their part, and it just stinks. It stinks to see a team struggle. They're going to fall out of the rankings, and that's rough. That's rough.
It is, but I definitely want to go to another CU Boulder game. The crowd was pretty good. Not as packed as past games we've been to when they were ranked, but they had the student section, they had the band there, and I think a lot of people in the stands go to games as regulars. The crowd is very mixed between older and younger people, and I just love that.
Yeah, they had a small but mighty student section. I think they did a really good job of being like the sixth man during foul shots. They have a nice atmosphere there. And again, if you live somewhere, it doesn't need to be near CU, but if you live somewhere with a Division I team, or not even a Division I team, go out and support that team, because it's very cool. It's very cool to be in that environment, especially when they're well coached, especially when they have spunky players like CU does. We looked at each other and we were like, we need to come back here.
Yeah.
And Audie Crooks has said in interviews for Iowa State, you don't need to be a monster in January, you need to be a monster in March. But you also can't lose this many games in a row.
Yeah.
So
that's very true.
I hope they pull it together.
Yes. Me too. All right, with that, let's get into some updates for the week, starting with Run Club. We have Run Club every Thursday at the 99ers Sports Bar here in Denver at 6 p.m. Each week, we gather at 6, run 3 miles, come back to the bar, and have a good time with beers, friends, good combos, and a lot of laughter. So you should join us. Each week we have a secret word, and if you share the secret word with the bartenders after the run, you will get 50% off your first draft. The word this week is buffs for CU Boulder.
Not butts.
Go Buffs.
But you could say butts too.
Or you could say SCO Buffs, Buffs, as long as you say buffs, not butts.
Awesome. We also need to take this time to ask you to please rate and subscribe to our podcast. We love this podcast. We love that you listen, and we want to continue to do this. So please rate and subscribe, give us a positive review, and share the podcast with someone you love. Thank you to everyone who has rated the podcast so far. If you send us a screenshot of your 5-star rating, we will send you a Women's Sports Weekly sticker in the mail. For our deep dive today, we are going to talk about the PWHL, and namely the Montreal Victoire versus the New York Sirens match that happened this past Sunday. Is it a match? Is it a game?
I usually say hockey games.
Hockey game. Okay. I feel like it might be even called something else. Hockey something. Okay, never mind. This game was part of the Takeover Tour. It was held in Washington, D.C., and there were 17,228 people there. It beat the single game record for a U.S. women's professional game.
Okay, knowing this, Denver better show out next week, and we got to beat this record.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if Denver doesn't show up and beat this record, I'm going to be so mad, because, come on. DC, we can do better than DC.
Yeah, let's go.
So if you haven't gotten your tickets for the Takeover Tour in Denver that's happening this Sunday, please go and get them. Okay, back to this game. Montreal and New York were tied at points at 19 points coming into this game, and the New York Sirens ended up winning this game 2-1. So we head into the third period. It is 2-1 Sirens, and Montreal's Marie-Philippe Poulin fires a shot at the goalie, Kaylee Osborne, and Kaylee Osborne catches the puck, and it almost goes the line, it almost goes past the line. And so there was this big debate. They had to go through it. This would have tied the game up of, did her glove go past the line with the puck? It was very hard to tell from the front shot. It looked like her hand went all the way back. And this was because Poulin just ripped it. It was such a hard shot. But from the up above, you couldn't tell where the puck was or how much of it went back. And it was crazy. But they ended up saying that goal did not count.
Damn.
I know. It stunk. So it stayed 2-1. Both of these players, Marie-Philippe Poulin, who plays for the Montreal Victoire, and then Kaylee Osborne, who plays for the Sirens, play on the Canadian national team. And I'm just like, the Olympics are going to be so wild between this USA and Canada team. So we continue on into the third period. And then at the end of the game, with 20 seconds left, Montreal gets the puck and they're going down the ice and time is just running down. They start shooting it. The puck is in front of the goal. There's just bodies everywhere. They just keep trying to get it in. The buzzer goes off. They just keep trying. And then there are bodies everywhere. full out brawl.
And they did not care when the referees were trying to break them up. They basically tackled the referees down, which was wild.
This was such a physical game. It was so fun to watch. Bodies were flying, punches were being thrown. Like you said, the referees were just in it. And I was like, hockey is just a fun, amazing sport.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun and very physical.
But then at the end of the match, at the end of the game, they all shake hands and they're laughing. And I'm like, you were literally just punching that girl in the face. It's just so
I love that.
incredibly cool. Kaylee Osborne for the Sirens ended the game with 32 saves, and Peyton Levis scored the game-winning goal for the Sirens to put them up 2-1. These teams go at it, and I was just like, I'm just so happy I'm watching this. As I was watching, from the physicality of the game, I wanted to know the rules of checking and fighting in the PWHL. So the PWHL does allow for checking, and checks are permitted when there's a clear intent to play the puck, and they especially allow it along the boards. So they allow you to ram into someone along the boards. Body checking is also allowed when players are moving in the same direction and trying to get the puck. So you can check someone if you're moving in the same direction with them. So you can't like T-bone them, but you can go side to side and check them out of the way. Hits from behind, open ice hits, and targeting to the head are illegal in the PWHL. And I thought this was very interesting that checking is not allowed in NCAA women's hockey. So when they get up to the PWHL, they just have to be ready for all of this added physicality.
That is interesting.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because it changes the game a lot. And like what they want is they want the players to be like really good skaters and really have, I don't know what I'm talking about with hockey, but like be able to control the puck well, use their stick skills. Am I saying these words correct? I don't know. But then they add checking to it. And I'm like, that kind of changes how you can do things and how you can maneuver around. So that must be quite the adjustment for people.
If you get to that level, though, at the professional level, like you said, they know what they're doing, and it's just the added physicality of it.
For sure. The PWHL does not allow fighting, which the NHL does allow for fighting, which I just think is wild. Can we get into this a little bit? And I can make it gay. You want me to because we're talking about men's sports?
No.
Okay, there's a code. There's this code of conduct in the NHL of what they allow. This is straight from Reddit. So,
Reddit. Good.
Okay, so as part of this code, punching and grappling is good to go. But stomping, kicking, scratching, and poking eyes would likely result in a suspension in the NHL.
Geez, thank God. I mean, they're wearing blades. Stomping, you'll kill someone. That's terrifying.
That is terrifying. You're supposed to fight in the NHL only people who want to fight you. So you're not allowed to like sucker punch anyone. And the way you know that someone wants to fight is if they throw off their gloves.
Interesting.
So if you hit someone before they get their gloves off, that's considered bad form.
Okay.
Just in case we ever start fighting in the NHL. No players are off limits to fight, but if you initiate a fight with a skilled player or a star rookie, you might have to answer to a bigger guy later in the game.
Fair. Sticking up for your teammates. I like it.
Punching each other in the face with your gloves on is not considered fighting. It's just considered like regular scrummy parts of the game.
Okay.
And then the only unspoken rule, although these all seems like pretty much unspoken rules, is that when a player hits the ground, the other player stops throwing punches. So you don't kick someone when they're down. You will rarely see a player still mad get on top of someone and continue to punch. So it's all has to be upright. And this is allowed in the NHL.
Yep.
So you don't get suspended for any of these things. You get a 5-minute penalty. You both go to your little sin bin and the bad boy area, and you stay there for 5 minutes, and then you can come out and compete again.
Penalty box.
The penalty box. Should fighting be allowed in the PWHL?
I go back and forth with this because I'm like, why can the men do it and the women can't? Naturally, I think there would be less fighting in PWHL because I think women are less likely to start throwing punches. It does happen, but I don't think it would happen as often. Do I think it should be part of the game? Not necessarily. Like, I just don't see the point. I don't see the point in why NHL does it. That's just a way for someone to get hurt when it's unnecessary. So no, I don't agree. I don't think or I guess I agree with the current rules where they shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah. I love the physicality. I love that they check each other.
Yeah, I'm glad they can do that because like lacrosse, there's rules that they can't do things like the men. So like things like that when it's part of the game, I appreciate that they can do that. But the fighting part, I just don't get.
And it's so strange because it's like play stops and then it's just two men on skates. Just
yeah. What is this?
I don't know, fists up, ready to go. And it's just like, what are we actually doing? I feel like it's more for the spectacle than it is for any of the sport, right? And so, no, I don't think the PWHL should allow for fighting. I love an end of game brawl where people are just like pushing each other and punches are flying, but it's not craziness. It was crazy, but it's not, I don't know, it's not for the spectacle of it all.
No, I agree.
And I think the physicality is enough in the PWHL. What I saw this past weekend, I was like, this is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that takes me right into what I'm looking forward to this week. So can I go ahead?
Yeah, I think we're both looking forward to this one, but share with our listeners.
The Takeover Tour continues, and it is coming to Denver in the PWHL. The Vancouver Golden Eyes take on the Seattle Torrent on Sunday, January 26th at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, and it will be played in Denver. We are so excited for this. Please, if you are in the Denver area, please come. We need to beat DC. I'm way too competitive.
And it was so fun last year, and Denver did show out, and we had a great crowd.
Yes.
It's such a fun environment. And we'll be there. So look for us in the stands. My favorite thing to say.
Look for us at the Grill Aquarium. What are you looking forward to?
So big game in NCAA basketball. South Carolina Gamecocks will play Vanderbilt on Saturday, January 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. I say this is a big game because at the time of recording, I guess I don't want to jinx Vanderbilt, at least until they play Gamecocks. But at the time of recording, they are undefeated still. The Gamecocks better beat them. So that's what I'm excited about.
I love the coach for Vanderbilt. She's like, we don't have a target on our back. We're not running away from anything. We'll meet anyone head on. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's go. I'll see you on Saturday.
Yes. So definitely excited for those upcoming games. That is it for this week. We will see you next week on Women's Sports Weekly. In the meantime, watch women's sports and share the podcast with your friends. Rate and subscribe to the pod on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Thanks for joining us.